Now that we've introduced all of our panelists, we'll get started with our first question. We just heard a little bit about you and all of your bios, so we want to know what else you'd like the audience to know about you. So Alyssa, you want to go ahead and start us off?
Hello. Hey everybody. Just like my bio said, I am advocacy specialist for the Dolores Bar Weaver Policy Center, in which I use my voice on a state, local, and national level, really to leverage the voices of survivors of trafficking and youth caught in the justice system. And I really do that because of my personal story. So I'm just honored to be here and to serve on the panel with you guys. Thanks.
Great. Davin, go ahead next.
Yes. Beside all the juvenile justice advocacy work I do, I also give back to my community, to the local sports that they play, basketball and football. I give my free time to them because I know they need it the most for the next stuff.
Thank you. George.
Oh, okay. Again, my name is George Mack, Executive Director at Newtown Success on Edward Waters College. One of the things that I want to share is that what I focus on is more along the lines of not after the fact, but before the fact. Being proactive instead of reactive. What are some of the things that we can do in the community, as a community, to fix the community? And really looking at it from a grassroots perspective and how we can actually utilize individuals who are neighbors of neighbors and train them properly to create that level of change. So I feel blessed and fortunate to be in the position I am in, to be working with residents of Newtown and the surrounding areas to make sure individuals do not end up with her.
And Melissa.
Thank you. My name is Melissa Nelson, and it's great to be with you all tonight. This turnout is really fantastic. I think we'll have a great conversation, and it's great to be among all of you this evening on this panel. So a year ago, well, a little over a year ago, in May of 2016, I decided to jump into politics, which had never been on my bucket list, was not on my to-do list, and had never been part of my career plans. But I did it because I love this community and I love the justice system. I love that office. And I really believed that someone, and I knew it wouldn't just be me, but our community, needed to correct what I thought had become an imbalance in our community. And so I'm thrilled to be here today to talk to you about some of the things that we've been working hard on doing to bring that balance back to the justice system. Something I'd want you to know about me: I'm a mother, I have 3 children, a wife, and our 3 kids are 11, 10, and 8. And I'm particularly focused on juvenile justice. My husband does not like me to say this in time for our 8-year-old because he's already just a ball of fire. So thanks for having me.
So our second question has to do with the panelist's personal experience and direct observations with respect to youth and young adults in the community and in the criminal justice system. So Davin, let's direct the first question to you. The EVAC movement created the Your Story Is Mine campaign. Tell us about this campaign and then share a personal experience you had that shaped your involvement with this campaign.
Well, first the campaign was brought up to us by one of our EVAC members. And he took the campaign and brought it up to us, and we came as a team, and we was going to run with it and make sure, even if we didn't win, we was going to make sure it was still going to get out. It's not all about the prize. It wasn't about the prize for us. It was about what was going to motivate others. Our story was going to be heard, and not just our stories, everybody. Give people the braveness that they need so they could go out and share their story. Because a lot of people that came to us were scared to share their story. So we encouraged them to go share it because some people need to hear their stories. And how I got into it was we have a topic each month, and it was talking about, first one was incarcerated parents, losing a sibling, and then homelessness came up, and I could relate to that, and I felt like I haven't heard a lot of people talk about what stuff that they went through when they were homeless. Like a lot of my friends, we always talk about how we have, murdered friends that are incarcerated, but we never hear about, oh, I was homeless. We never talk about those things, so I felt like it was my turn to flip the table and begin to speak on deeper concepts. Because growing up in our generation, it's an everyday thing that you have a friend incarcerated or a friend murdered or even just passed away. So you never hear about the kids that that lost their mom or even became homeless or grew up in Section 8. Nobody wants to talk about those things. So I began to flip the table and bring my story up so I could embrace others to share their story.
Thank you very much. Alyssa, you have a second question. And share with us how a personal experience you had led to your involvement with the program.
So See the Girl, that's kind of the tagline of the Dolores Bar Weaver Policy Center, which is a nonprofit here in Jacksonville. And See the Girl came from when our president and CEO was visiting locked facilities in the state of Florida. And she visited one girl in particular, and she just asked her, you know, what would you like me to take back to people in our community? And she just said, see me for who I am, see me for who I can become. And just basically see her, not just for what she's been through, but for who she really is. And my story personally aligns with this because at the age of 15, I was a victim of human trafficking, and directly after being a victim of trafficking, I was sent to jail and later released 9 months later. And I went right back to the streets because I felt like that's where I belong. You know, I didn't feel like I had any worth and value. So then again, I became a victim of human trafficking, not even a year later. And this time I stood up against my trafficker, and I was arrested for 6 serious felonies. And I was placed in adult jail, certified, and I was facing 15 years life in prison. But I remember no one really ever asking me about my story and why I did what I did. And maybe if they did, I would have told them that I was a victim of trafficking and I was suffering from abuse at home. So long story short, 3 years later, after being in the Duval County Jail as a 16-year-old, I was released at 19 years old, and my friend nearly had to drag me into the Dolores Bar Weaver Policy Center. And you know, I started receiving counseling there, but I remember saying, no, why are you guys any different? Who are you guys? You know, everyone else in my life, including myself, let me down. But this time, my counselor, you know, she looked at me as a human being and as Alyssa, not a criminal, not a child prostitute, and all these other labels that people put on me. So now fast forward to today, and I am employed at the Policy Center, and I enjoy every minute of it.
Melissa and George, how do you respond to the stories you just heard, and how would you like to see our city people and institutions respond?
Gators first.
Well, I'm personally